正義の心は永久不滅。さらに大きく燃え盛るベリオルクロスライド、究極次元ロボグレート大勇者。
究極次元ロボグレート大勇者。
Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing another deck profile for one of the new clans that came out with this set, Dimension Police. Now, let's just take a quick look at the deck list. So I think this deck list is quite standard. You know, you play the Daiyusha starter, and Daiyusha got a buff from the TCG. In the TCG it did not give you the draw 2, and in this game it does. So before you'd be minusing by using the skill, but it gives you consistency. Here at least you get to draw extra cards and maybe you know, go through your deck a little bit better. Next we play 4 PGs, Diamond Ace, very iconic. We play 2 of the Commander Laurels. Don't play too many of these because, well, you only need 1 copy on the board to actually use it. And actually, from practice, you actually rarely get to use a skill. And that's because in a Vanguard 0, if your Vanguard has a crit and it procs a PG, well, it doesn't hit, right? So you can't use Commander Laurel. If it hits, your opponent has at minimum plus 10 shield, at maximum plus 20 shield, and that makes your Great Daiyusha or Daiyusha, you know, 14 or 15k-ish. Attack is really not very feasible to be able to hit past that shield value. And so Laurel sees very little use in actual play, but when it does, it's very, very useful. And another thing about the Laurel in 0 is, yes, it got buffed from 4k to 7k, but in the original game, well, your Vanguard gets to twin drive again, which means you get to draw 2 more cards. Laurel doesn't say when your Vanguard hits, rest 4 rearguard, stand your Vanguard and draw 2, right? Like, the end lets you draw 2 cards because you're supposed to get the twin drive, right? Spectral Duke gives you draw 1 because it's supposed to lose the twin drive but still get 1 drive check. Laurel doesn't patch that up. Laurel is a weird card. Definitely, in my opinion, nerfed over buffed. I'd rather it retain the 4k than the 7k, but you can't complain. That's how it is. At least it's a decent ride target, I suppose. Next we play 3 of the Dailander. Dailander are a very good card. Although it's a 6k base, on place counterblast 1, it gives any Dimension Robo, Vanguard or Rearguard plus 4k. Now, one of the key combos is obviously just give it to Daiyusha, right? Daiyusha gets plus 4, gets the crit, early game crit pressure, very, very good, and then you go into the Great Daiyusha to seal the game. Not only that, but if you play it on the Rearguard during your mid or late game, you can build up proper columns, mitigate your opponent's damage triggers, and go for the kill. Next, these 2 cards do the same thing, Dai Battles and the Diamond Arena. So originally in the TCG, Diamond Arena was a grade 1, and the Dai Battles was a grade 0 critical trigger. And both of them have the same skill, so they got reprinted as grade 1 7k. In Soul Blasted, give your Vanguard plus 3. Do use it, you know, very rarely would you use it, for me at least. But you do want the Dimension Robo name for your for your starter skill, Daiyusha skill, as well as your Great Daiyusha skill. So they're decent ride targets, and if you do need to hit those numbers into the very mid game, late game, definitely can help. And if you Soul Blast 2 of them, you can use, you know, Daiyusha's original plus 1 crit. If you Soul Blast 1 of them, counterblast 2 with Daiyusha's new skill, you get plus 5, and that's also a crit activation requirement fulfilled. Next we play 4 of the 9+3s, very standard, you know, helps you hit numbers. 11k Vanguards is the most popular right now. Next is 13k. So 12 plus any of the boosters right here, minimum 6k means you hit 18. That's exactly the numbers you need to hit to beat Crossride. Next we play 3 of the Mika. Mika's on hit counterblast 2 draw 1. You will notice in game that this deck has a very, very weak draw power, which is one of the major drawbacks of this deck. Yes, it has the crit pressure, but it doesn't draw enough, and so you have to definitely play at least 3 Mikas, at least 2. 3 is a pretty good number that I tested with. 4 is a bit too much. You can only counterblast 2 so many times in the game. So definitely do not overlook the Mika. 4 of the 10k. Very cool that they printed this earlier on into the Vanguard 0 game. This card actually came with the Dimension Robo trial deck very late into, very middle late of the Break Ride era. So definitely a welcome addition. and then we have 2 of the Cosmic Mothership. Now some builds play the grade 2 9k, the pink lady. When it hits the Vanguard, give you a Vanguard +3, but the 3k doesn't really make a big difference in this deck. You know, Daiyusha needs +4 anyways, and Great Daiyusha doesn't even need that extra power. So I personally would rather enable the Great Daiyusha skill earlier to, you know, just get the crit pressure going, and not restrain myself with the attack formation, forcing my rear to attack Vanguard. Because generally speaking, in the mid or late game, you or your opponent would like 2 intercepts in the front row, and that makes the pink lady, you know, pretty redundant. Next we play 4 Daiyusha, and you'll notice that we have 2 of the Alter Art ones because I'm at Legend 20 already. This is day, what is this? This is day 3 of the season, so I'm doing pretty good. Top 10 right now, around 6th-ish. So you can check out the rankings, you know, as this video is uploaded. And unfortunately, I'm still missing 2. I haven't pulled a single. I didn't pull a single set 3, and so we only have 2. So we're going to use some crafting material to play this deck out. We have 4 Great Daiyushas. I crafted 3. I did pull an SP one. If you did check out that video, I would have rather pulled, you know, more Great Daiyushas or Daiyushas rather than the 6 Zeals or so. Apparently, someone counted actually. But you know, what can you do? I prepared for it and I was able to craft them. I could craft Daiyusha as well, but you know, they are rank rewards and I do want those SP copies, which I will fight for. Next we play 1 of the Cosmic Grade. Cosmic Grade is pretty great. Caramelize to give 1 unit +4, no requirements, unlike the Dailander. So definitely very effective, and especially when your first ride is Daiyusha, you can Cosmic Grade, Caramelize 2, get +4, get the crit pressure going. With Daiyusha you only get +2k, so not very effective. You know, generally rarely use the skill, but when you do need that final push, I guess you can go for it, go for broke. One last thing to note is that here Daiyusha got a new skill as of this set release. Its skill is from hand you can discard this card, remove this card from play. You can add a Dai Battles, Dai Lander, or Dai Marina, or Dai Dragon to your hand. Okay, so one thing, very important thing to note is that there's 3 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. So the chances of getting an intercept is 25%, the chance of getting a booster is 75%, and you know, 2 are 7Ks and 1's a 6K with utility. Generally speaking, you'd want the 6K and the 9+3 Dai Dragon, and rarely you'd like the Dai Marina and Dai Battles. But you can't complain, right? Like, it's trading a 10k for, you know, these cards. So do be careful when using it. You know, like sometimes you do want the 10k body over the 25% chance of a 12k body. But just be wary. And lastly, the tech slot, we play Subterranean Beast Magma Lord. Now you're like, Entropy, why don't you play the 10+2? Why don't you be a sane man? Why are you playing this like kaiju? The reason why is because a lot of people play this card in Zeal. I disagree. This card's trash in Zeal. How can you fulfill the Mega Blast requirement in Zeal in the first place, right? Zeal requires Counterblast. A lot of the Zeal Vanguard costs Counterblast too, and you don't build up the soul fast enough to use this card. But with Daiyusha, you're putting 4-dimension robos into the soul. Assuming you ride properly, 6 soul, easy game, easy game. Now you rarely use this. This is cheese. This is cheese, right? But at the very late game, when your opponent's running out of intercepts, or your opponent's running out of PGs, and they're banking on defensives, minus 8k to your opponent's Vanguard and your opponent's intercepts really hurts them. And you know, with the lack of draw power with Dimension Police, you know, minusing opponent's intercept values so your little boosters can go up and finish your opponent up. Definitely consider this little spice. Did not work in game yet because I haven't played a lot of this deck in ranked. I played a lot of this in friend fight, and I do like it when sometimes you cheese. One thing to be careful of is it does counterblast 4, so you would have to avoid using, you know, some of these counterblast heavy cards. But generally speaking, if you heal 1, then you're good to go. So I guess without further ado, let's begin. Let's fight. And yes, we will have to use crafting material if we win. So, how's everyone doing on ladder? I mean, I've been doing pretty well. I've been cheesing a lot with the Bermuda deck that we've seen previously, playing a lot of not a lot, playing a bit of Shadows because it is my main class after all, and then playing a bit of Spikes here and there because I am comfortable with it. But I guess we're going first here in this game. We are gonna mulligan the 8K, not very useful. And we're okay with this hand. I feel we're okay with this hand. Like, if we do miss, what happens? Maybe we'll ditch the 10K. Okay, so we have the SP grade Daiyusha. Very nice. Let's turn on the animations. Ride animation, cut animation, everything animation. Okay. So let's ride the die battles. Hold the starter. And yeah. Some people say like, oh, ride the 10K, you know, 10K is very important. But remember that Daiyusha doesn't require, you know, does require, you know, dimension robos on the rear guards as well. So sometimes you do want to save the 10K to place it on the rear guard circle, and use that for that purpose instead. You know, you'd rarely actually use the Daiyusha on turn 2, unless you think, you know, you have a really bad hand and you just want to cycle through all your dimension robos. Is our opponent grade stuck or VP farming? Okay. Mika. All right, I guess we can punish this inactiveness. Yeah, opponent's playing a pretty proper deck. But I guess since they already got to clan level 5 on day 3 to get the sleeves, you know, pretty likely they're a VP farmer. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna stop right here. I mean, let's just watch this. Great Daiyusha. Completely missed my cue. Okay, moving on. Okay, our opponent's thinking really hard if they should call out any units, you know, right here. And they're like, oh, should I attack the intercept or should I attack face? Wait, I can only attack rear guard. Oh, I can't attack it. Yep, I'm bored. Alright, should we troll? Hello, subterranean beast. I forgot the fucking name. Maguma Lodo. Oh, the beast. Okay, so I guess, you know, that's too quick of a game. Let's go to game 2. Let's try to actually get a game. Fine. Consume my crafting material. stones. I've like way too much of that. And you get that because, you know, every day there's a mission, crafting mission. If you craft a card, it costs 100 crafting materials, like a common. If you do the mission, you get 500 crafting material. So again, another Aquaforce player. I guess Aquaforce is really popular. I really want to play Aquaforce, but you've seen my polls. It's like hot garbage, so I can't really play it. But here we go. Let's get rid of the Magma Lord. You know, we gotta keep that spice for late game. We're okay with the you know, Dimension Robo cards, and Mika is a great, you know, first ride target to draw extra card. Great, we have great Daiyusha. Another VP farmer? Are you kidding me? Dude, why? It costs me crafting material every time I play this deck. Like, I know it's a really good deck and you want to auto concede, but like, hold up. Let me do my video, man. Oh, it's not a VP farmer, dude. I've like, you know, usually when you see a VP farmer, you're like, free win, free points, free clan levels, free gems. But I guess, you know, when you're using the rental system, it kind of hurts, you know. I just want a normal game. I just want to show you guys, you know, how great Daiyusha can be. You know, both how great, you know, normal Daiyusha can be and how great Daiyusha can be as well. So our opponent rides the AK, very standard ride. We hit the Daiyusha, draw us into the Mika, the SP one. Okay. Do we superior ride into normal Daiyusha and then ride great Daiyusha next turn? That's the question. Because if we do that, what are we? We're 10k. Alright, we're not gonna hit numbers, so we might as well save it for. Do we save it? No, let's go for it. We gotta go for it, right? We gotta go for it. Opponent's still a grade 1. Let's bully it. Wait, you need 4. Oh, well, that's a misplay. Okay. Exchange of plans. For now. Take it slow and easy. That's the plan. Thing is, if I do draw into a Dimension Robo next turn, right? I can still superior ride into normal Daiyusha. I can still do that. It's all part of the plan. All part of the plan. So here we're just gonna take it slow, deal some damage. Opponent has a heal, unfortunate, but that means we're both at 1 damage. Opponent hitting the heal is actually detrimental to them because as Aquaforce player, you want to get to 4, so you get your draw engine going. Of course, they went second, which means they draw 2 cards, which is definitely very beneficial as an Aquaforce player. You know, it means a lot more options in terms of their play, and they can play more aggressively than not. I was thinking very hard, you know. So this starter, Officer Cadet Astrea, I honestly don't believe in this card. Like, when this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, counterblast 1, put into soul and stand with your rearguards. Like, by that time, you're like the 3rd, 4th attack. And if you stand a rearguard, right, how often will it be able to hit your opponent's Vanguard? And how often will it be able to, you know, actually, you know, hit at all, right? Like, sure, you can attack a rearguard, but how much value is it? Is it worth counterblast 1, putting into soul? Your opponent's front row rearguards, like if they're both like intercepts, then you can't avoid killing them. Especially with this placement, putting in the rearguard circle, like corner, not putting it behind Vanguard, which is where your 3rd or 4th attack generally is, and generally will want to hit your opponent at is, definitely doesn't make it a very appealing card to play. You'd rather play the 5k or the Eric, you know. Eric's great because, well, you want to guarantee that you get into your Maelstrom because it's your main ride target, as well as getting a Diamantes is pretty good because it enables your Maelstrom in the first place. Definitely not bad. And then the Draco Kid, if it's the 4th attack or more on hit, draw 1, definitely great to just cycle through, right? So, I don't know. I don't know about this one. But I guess, you know, we'll see. So we're at 3 damage, our opponent's at 1. Very precarious situation for us. What are we gonna do? The answer is we have 2 robos in our soul. We can go Great Daiyusha. Oh, Jingen Lobo. Kireto Daiyusha! I hope my friends don't see this. That'd be embarrassing. Okay, let's call it the Mika. Let's call it the self-damager to enable the limit break. So here, 13 hits rearguard. The Mika hits rearguard, which enables a draw one. And here you can see that the first card is a draw trigger, the second card is a self-damager. So we counterblast 2, then the chance of returning a trigger just, went higher, right? Before it was 0%, now it's 33%. So exactly just reiterating. Oh wow, that's sick. Pretty sick. Usually I play with animations off, so I don't really see this often. But we do hit a draw trigger. Daiyusha is with us in the drop zone. Not in the soul, but in the drop zone. But here, one hits a draw. Alright, let's see if we put the draw trigger back in. Ah, no, we don't. Unfortunate. Hydro Hurricane Dragon. Okay. What do you think about Hydro Hurricane? Requiring 4th attack and then wiping your opponent's field for counterblast 2 seems pretty good on paper, but in 0, you need to hit through your opponent's intercepts to hit your opponent's Vanguard in the first place, right? Except if you have Basil or Diamantes in Aquaforce, of course. And by that time, your opponent has at most 3 rearguards in the back row left. And so Hydro Hurricane counterblast 2 to retire 3 is actually still pretty good. I mean, Amber Dragon was nerfed because it could counterblast 2, retire 2. But the requirement itself is quite steep. So definitely doesn't see as much play. And it's also a 10k rather than 11k. So it definitely deters it. But I'm still considering, whether I should make a deck, a budget build. It is a double rare after all, and it could be interesting. In the TCG, it was a triple rare, so it was harder to come by. But even in the TCG, it wasn't that great of a card, so we're not missing out much. I think double rare is a proper rarity for it. Here, I just bit myself in the tongue. The Astrea actually came into play, enabling a 4th attack here. But what can I say? Haven't seen a PG at all. Very unfortunate. Do we have 4 counterblast? Oh. Okay. It says here, rest 4 of your rearguards to stand the Vanguard. Okay. Should we try to draw into our PG? No, let's do the Commander Laurel. No, it's kind of risky. We do need our PGs. Okay, let's do this. So Daiyusha's skill is if your Vanguard's grade 2 or above, right? So you can actually do it even when you're at grade 3. And doing this means that we get our SP grade Daiyusha, which is infinitely better than the triple rare one. That is for peasants. And we get to draw. So we did draw into our PG. Very, very good. Big brain plays here. What is this? When your Vanguard hits, rest 4 of your rearguards to stand your Vanguard. Okay. Okay, we can do that. Battle. So on hit, counterblast 2, draw 1. Oh, but I have the soul and the counterblast to use the spice. Oh no, I only have counterblast 3. Never mind. I was gonna say if I have 4 counterblast, I'd save it for the beast, the secret sauce. But unfortunately, no, we don't have the counterblast for it. So let's hit face. The sun shall rise on us again. Draw trigger. All to Vanguard. Let's get it, boys. Let's get it. 2 PGs in hand. Things are going perfect. Perfect. Oh yeah, the Laurel needs 4 rearguards. Misplay. This is what happens when you don't get enough practice. I still think this game is a pretty entertaining though. Entropy falls short, but somehow still stumbles to the finish line. An opponent called out this unit because, well, of course, opponent doesn't have a lot of grade 2 options, right? No PG, which means as long as this goes through, if we survive this turn, which we should, our opponent doesn't have multi-attack options or intercepts, we can just create Daiyusha, slap face, and win the game. Justice calls. So look at that. Using the Daiyusha to draw 2, to filter through your hand and draw into your deck, drawing the PGs. Very good play. Getting a bit obnoxious, so I'm just gonna chill. Well. Yes, it is I, Great Daiyusha. It's called the Beast. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Pew! Heal trigger. Let's go. Let's put on Vanguard. Draw trigger, Vanguard. So even if our opponent hits a heal, we can still get a chance of restanding with the Laurel. We finish the game right here. If our opponent doesn't check a heal, no heal, 6 damage. Very spicy. So, so not the best performance from Entropy. What can I say? Not a lot of practice. Deck definitely does wonders. Very good deck. Bottom of tier 2, top of tier 3 at most. But you know, I think a lot of things that you need to know is that, you know, the way the cards interact and the cards work, right? Don't blindly just follow lists. Like don't put the Beast into Zeal. You can't. You're never gonna use it. The Beast in Daiyusha. That's where the spice is at. You get the Soul. You get the Caramblast. Very good. Remember the Daiyusha removal skill. 4 options. 3 is grade 1. 1 is grade 2. Very important to know that. Daiyusha can be used as long as your Vanguard is a grade 2 or above Dimension Robo. Very important to use that. Not only just to get into your Daiyusha, Great Daiyusha, you know, Cross Rider, whatever, you know, but also to filter through your hand. You know, if you have a lot of Dimension Robos in your hand and it's clogging, use it. Use the skill. Draw 2. You know, if I didn't do the skill, I wouldn't have gone the PG and I wouldn't have won the game. So very important to know that. Here, I want to, you know, my virtual wallet is crying because I just spent another bunch of crafting materials. I'm pretty happy with this video. You know, 2 wins. One's a VP former, one's an actual game. Of course, our opponent's not playing Maelstrom, but even if they did, they couldn't enable it. No Basil, no Diamantes. Very excellent. Even with misplays, this deck works. Do try it out. The Beast is actually very interesting. You know, you gotta flex on your opponent when you're winning anyways. So this is definitely a great way. If you enjoyed the video, do like the video, do subscribe. That button right there, down below actually. Comment down below, you know, if you've tried this deck, you know, or if you face the deck, what do you think about the deck? You know, what do you think about the conventional list, right? Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree with my list? Tell me down below. And I'm looking forward to refine it. Once I get to Legend 50, and I have my 4 copies of Daiyusha, I'll definitely be playing more of this deck. I just don't want to be spending crafting material every single game. But until then, stay good, stay safe, and check out my other content if you're bored. I mean, you know, got nothing much to do. Check out my channel. We have a lot of new subscribers here. We're at 180 something. Getting ahead of myself. We're so close to 200. So if you haven't subscribed, just do that, please. Very excited about that. And then until next time, bye.
究極地球ロボクレート